Back in 2013, a random dude who did 2D animation for advertising agencies in Sweden dropped a short film on YouTube that went viral almost the next day. The short film, Lights Out, is a basic, unassuming 2-minute and 42-second story about a woman who sees the shadow of a creature every time her lights go out. The seamless editing between shots of lights being off and on is what made this short so scary, and built the tension so much that the final reveal is the perfect example of a jump scare done well. There's no expensive CGI, no A-list celebrities, no extensive backstory, and hell, not a single word is even spoken in the short, and yet it's one of the most effective horror shorts made by a complete amateur ever. That amateur was David F. Sandberg, the director of Until Dawn. After Sandberg's short, he rode the golden elevator to the top of the Hollywood horror list and eventually made a feature-length film from the idea of the short, and it was pretty good. After the feature, he went on to direct the Shazam movies, and since then, the quality of Sandberg's movies has slowly dipped. I've been following Sandberg's career ever since I saw the Lights Out short film because it's an amazing success story, especially for someone who wasn't born in or lived in the United States. And he's a very interesting person, and I like his directing style. Which leads me to Until Dawn, his most latest film. Now, I haven't ever played the game the movie's based off of, so I'm not going to be able to compare it. All I can do is review and critique the movie on its own merit. That being said, I think it's a great concept. The idea you're trapped in a house and forced to survive the night while being hunted by any random thing. If you die, the night resets and you have to try again. I think that can lead to a lot of well-thought-out scenarios as well as just be a fun sandbox to play in. You can explore themes and ideas of weighted decision-making, strengths and weaknesses of characters and how they can be used for and against them to try to survive. Characters having to combine their strengths to defeat a particularly nasty baddie while learning about each other. This concept is rife with creative freedom. Unfortunately, we don't get much of that in this film. The writing is bland and uninspired, the dialogue is flat and cringe at times, and the plot only moves forward when the script needs it to, even ignoring its own rules. The characters, whose names I can barely remember, don't have any weight to them, and the actors playing them really lack the gravitas required for the scenarios they're put in. The plot goes something like this. Clover and her ex-boyfriend Max set out on a tense road trip with her friends, Nina, Megan, and Nina's boyfriend Abe, to retrace the last known steps of Clover's missing sister, Melanie. Their search leads them to a remote gas station where Clover meets a peculiar attendant named Hill. He offers a cryptic warning. People tend to vanish on the road leading to a long-forgotten mining town called Glore Valley. Undeterred, the group ventures toward Glore Valley, but a sudden and intense rainfall forces them to seek shelter at a nearby visitor center. Oddly, the storm only affects the area around the center. Inside, Abe stumbles across a chilling display, a wall filled with missing person posters. One of them being Melanie. As night falls, Nina casually signs the guest book, and the group discovers a staircase that leads to an unsettling, abandoned home hidden beneath the center. Before long, their search turns into a nightmare. A masked figure armed with a pickaxe ambushes them, brutally killing them one by one. And then they wake up, and the same night begins again. The group is trapped in a time loop, with their names reappearing in the guest book, and their missing posters now pinned to the wall. An ominous hourglass in the main room reveals their time is limited. The lights go out. Across the way, they see a dilapidated house. Megan becomes possessed and is violently killed, and Clover is dragged inside by a ghostly force where she encounters an eerie old woman who speaks cryptically, "Survive the night or become part of it." As the horrors mount, Abe and Nina attempt to flee, only to run into a towering creature lurking in the rain. Forced back inside, they're swiftly slaughtered by the masked killer. Possessed, and no longer herself, Clover murders Max before being run over and killed. And then, the night resets. Now fully aware of the loop, the group learns they only get 13 deaths before vanishing forever. In a moment of desperate strategy, they barricade themselves in a bathroom and drink from the tap water, only to explosively discover it's tainted. As Clover dies, she catches one last glimpse of Hill, who eerily encourages her to keep moving. Determined, Clover reawakens once more. Tensions within the group boil over. Nina, furious at Abe for previously trying to abandon them, drives a pickaxe through his chest. While Clover, Max, and Megan venture into the woods, Abe and Nina fall prey to the masked assailant. In the forest, the trio is attacked by savage humanoid Wendigos. Megan is killed, and Clover and Max encounter Melanie, transformed into a creature herself. Crushed by the sight of her sister, Clover asks Max to kill her so they can reset and dig deeper into the mystery. He slits her throat and, in an act of defiance, drinks the cursed water and detonates as he curses Melanie. The group slowly uncovers the truth. Decades ago, Glore Valley suffered a mining disaster that swallowed the town and killed hundreds. Hill, once brought in as a therapist for survivors, seems to be orchestrating something sinister. A dusty VHS tape reveals the final twist. Those who die on their 13th night transform into Wendigos, cursed to haunt the ruins.
Why?
I don't know.
Determined to end the cycle, the group spends multiple nights reliving their deaths, killed by monsters, the masked killer, or worse. A flashback reveals the source of Clover's guilt after their mother's death. Melanie walked out following an unresolved argument that still haunts her. As the 13th night begins, Clover awakens to find their corpses slowly morphing into Wendigos. Megan is missing, having somehow survived the previous loop, and now is chasing Hill into the underground tunnels beneath the center. The ending you can pretty much guess is unexplained and contrived. It ends with sequel bait. This is what's most frustrating about the movie. The plot feels like it's on train tracks, and every time a plot device backs the writers into a corner, they just have the very thing that needs to happen. A bear trap springing loose at just the right time after showing that neither character can open it with their strength alone. A chain that isn't long enough for a creature to reach a character until it's pulled out of the wall right when the character escapes. One of the traps being that the characters spontaneously combust after drinking water, but some have coughing fits before it happens and others don't, and one of them just explodes piece by piece. The rules are barely explained, and there's obviously a supernatural element to it, but that's also never explained. How do they wake up alive again? Where are the random creatures coming from? When the reveal of Hill happens, how is he organizing all of this? What are the mechanics? We don't get answers to any of these questions. When it comes to the characters and how we can explore their personalities, their wants, their needs, strengths, and weaknesses, we're not given anything. Nothing where they have to work together and learn about each other. Nothing where they fail and learn a lesson. There's no arc to speak of for anybody. However, buried in this movie is a good movie, and David Sandberg tries to pull it out, but he's shackled by the script tying him to the railroad tracks and leaving him no room for characterization. The visuals are great, and the atmosphere is perfect for this type of movie. Shots are creatively executed, and we're treated with a damn good bit of violence. Seriously, this movie is bloody, but unfortunately, it's not enough to carry it. At 103 minutes, which isn't that bad, you really start to feel it in the third act when you really just want the movie to get on with it and be over. So anyway, that's it. Until Dawn is a pretty bad movie with a good movie buried in it, and directed by somebody with talent with a script written by two people without. If you're going to watch this movie, I'd recommend just waiting until streaming. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a like and leave a comment telling me your thoughts. If you didn't like the video, I appreciate you sticking around this long, and I'll see you on the next one.